The 2022 staging of the Issa Grace Boys and Girls Champs wrapped up a couple of days ago. Mr. Lagos said this, leaving the nation hopeful about our future athletes. Track and field analyst Hubert Lawrence joins us this morning to talk some more. Hey, Hubert.
Yubi-dubi.
Happy belated birthday. Hi, Bertis.
Thank you.
Why, he's so much more than an analyst. I mean, he's an author, he's a commentator, all kinds of stuff. Hubie, let me start with an overall comment before we get specific. Yes. Because we've had champs where we had 30 records broken and stuff. Put this one in perspective, knowing that we've had, COVID and people probably wasn't training as well as they could have. So put this one in perspective before we get specific.
I think this was a rebuilding championships where last year's champs was sort of a shoo-in. COVID really wrecked the 2020 season and hamstrung practice in 2021. So this one is the first one that we're really getting back to where we were. And I think we'll get the outbreak of records we're used to in 2023. But I think it was a worthwhile champs to have. I think the athletes were fantastic. There were some world leaders inside there. Young Karika Hill, out of this world. I think a fantastic chance to have.
Yeah, I was about to ask that question, Hubert, because, of course, there were the ones we were looking out for. We were looking out for the Clayton twins. We were looking out for certain athletes that we knew. Were there any surprises for you, any breakthrough stars at this year's championships?
I think we knew Karika Hill was good, but not that good. Not 12.71 World Under 18 record good. And so if there's anyone who really broke into the consciousness, 11.16 for the 100, equal to Kevona Davis. And then 12.89 in the heats, 12.71 in the final. I mean, that really knocked me back in my seat in the commentary room because I knew she was sub 13 good, but 12.71, mercy.
Yeah. Speak to me about coaching, Hubert, because we're seeing, and we had this discussion, you and I had this discussion on air during champs about the schools that don't normally do as well in champs as we see. But I'm seeing so many athletes from Bustamante, I'm seeing athletes from Fern Court, from Immaculate, won the 4x1 class 4. Is this coaching we're looking at here?
The GC Foster College is 42 years old this year. There are coaches coming out. First, they staff out the high schools, Bertis and Delia. Then they begin to staff out the primary and the preps. They're no more all age and secondary schools anymore. And so it means that everywhere someone shows some hint of ability, there's a GC Foster trained coach there to know what they're seeing and to begin to funnel what they're seeing into a productive program. So Lacovia, Magati, Port Antonio High, now under consciousness, winning medals and winning events at Champs and at Carifta. So you're looking at people who in the past may have gone to other schools or fallen through the cracks. Because we've got so much out there, not just coaching, but spotting and then channeling, then they come to the fore and you see the change at Champs.
Yeah, it's something I raised with someone that the Champs model is a model that we can apply to the areas of creative arts in our young people in almost every area, the way it's structured. But I feel like one of the things that also works, right, Hubert, is the fact that it's managed by Issa. I feel the track and field program gets a lot of support because the administrative heads at the school are the ones that are giving the okay. Do you think that's a part of it?
The agents are the sportsmasters and the coaches.
Yeah.
But the key element is that you have top class instruction coming out of GC Foster at an early age so that the youngsters learn good fundamentals early. So when they get to Coach Mills or Coach Francis or Coach Wilson or Coach Stewart, then the person knows the language. You're talking to someone who is experienced and knowledgeable about how to prepare and the instructions they may get from a top class coach. So that matter where you have good instruction early, so the person learns good fundamentals early, is a key building block in the progress of Jamaican track and field.
Yep, Hubert, we've seen outstanding champs athletes who didn't really go on to be outstanding professional athletes. And we've seen champs athletes who probably did not do as well in school as they thought go on to be world champions. Not going to call any names, but have you seen anyone that, going to be there sooner than later?
That process is worldwide. People grow at different rates and develop in different rates. And I've been very hesitant to give someone the keys to the future based on what I see now.
Yeah.
The person I see who I really like on the girls' side, who I think, reluctantly I say her name now, is Karika Hill.
Yeah.
And on the boys' side, again, reluctantly, Daly of Herbert Morrison. I think these two youngsters, they're so underdeveloped physically in terms of weight training and physical development that I think there's a lot more tread left on the tire.
Yep.
I'm a fan of Javon Blake at JC, deputy head boy, 6 capes, 5 ones, doing 5 now, 1:47.6, one at Champs equal the record, did 8:15 there and at Carifta. I'm a big fan of him, not just as a track athlete, but as a whole human person who I think is on the way to greatness in whatever he chooses to do. So there are some youngsters, you see, young Gary Card, Woolmers, Shaniki, Harry's coach, tall boy. You can see he could take refinements and improvements. The 4 hurdler, Clark, Camperdown. You can see that these people should improve over time if the ball breaks the right way for them on the field.
Yep.
And the whole chance. But those are the ones that jump out to my mind.
Yep.
But life is uncertain. We have to help them every step of the way. And when they put on black, green, and gold, the help will pay off.
Yeah, we were talking during Champs again, and we came up with about 11 or 12 sets of twins who would have performed at Champs, which was interesting. What I found even more interesting was the number of overseas youngsters, boys and girls, that performed for us. Who does that help? Everybody? It helped we, it helped their country, it helped them. What does it do for us at Champs?
Well, remember now that Champs has steadily shut down transfer movement to a minimum. And so teams want to put out their squads of people who can help them. That's one. Number 2, the Caribbean can see Jamaica as the biggest, strongest, best organized youth development system in the Caribbean and want to be with us.
Yeah.
And so they come here and develop. And so it helps them and it helps us. Now, in the era of the distance races, if we can get youngsters who will pull our boys and girls along, then you can get a push me, pull you, 2-way benefit. They come to enjoy the Jamaican system and we gradually improve in the distances, which we need to do. Let's suppose we got a pole vault who could jump 5 meters from some other system, and then our boys and girls eventually would begin to pole vault with that target in mind. And so I think the potential is for it to help all of us. You have to monitor it, you have to manage it, but I think so far it's helpful. And when you look at Carifta with some of the Carifta athletes being Champs athletes, benefiting from the Champ system, I think it's a plus for the Caribbean.
Yeah. I want to take it off the competition a little bit, Hubert, because I'm looking on the track and I'm thinking in the same way the athletes have been able to develop, we've developed great administrators, marshals, the infrastructure surrounding Champs and how it happens is world class. Your comments on that? And I think that's also part of why it's successful.
I remember Bruce James saying how fantastic the people were who were reading the photo finish pictures.
Yes.
How they were reading X thousand number of pictures for the entire week because there are all these races. Champs runs like clockwork most of the time. There are a few times when Big Ben sees that it's a little bit behind, but oftentimes that slippage is well in hand. I think you have to thank the officials.
Yes.
This is every week for months. You go and run a track meet when you could be shopping or sleeping or watching cricket or, watching Smile in the morning on Saturday morning. So people come out because they believe that track and field is important. Last year, track comes back because the J3s and the government agree on protocols to bring the sport back early, and we get that back on the weekend, going 92 medals because Jamaica got the jump on people getting ready to come back after COVID. So I think it's an all-round commitment, the officials, administrators, and the fans, and the parents who make Jamaican track and field tick.
Yep. Final question, Hubert. I want to go back to the overseas athletes, and you made the point about transferring. No, there are numbers that you can and can't do. One of the arguments about why the transfer rule is like that now is because schools, coaches, principals, whoever, would be going to other schools and literally taking people from some of those schools. And the problem you heard is that you come to George's, and because you bring in Clive from another school, I don't make the team anymore. Is it not the same thing if you bring someone from overseas, I not going to make the team anymore? Or it is not the same thing?
You have to find a balance point. Let's suppose you're in Hubert Lawrence High School in Wanda Bolas.
Right.
It has no play field, no weight room, no feeding program, weak faculty. We can be rude to Hubert Lawrence High School.
Right.
No faculty of high quality, no labs, small cramped classrooms. Then that person is better someplace else.
Right.
No, so until we have perfect, basic, quality facilities for school and academics in all places, then transfers will be needed for the benefit of the children. Clearly, you have to find a balance point. I think ISSA is experimenting with this transfer limit because they want to find a balance point first. They've started with a particular point they've picked out. But maybe in the future, that space has to be opened up a little bit more so you can find the right balance point. So it's an experiment to find out if that's the right level, 2 per school per class. Maybe the real place is 4. We'll have to see. And eventually, if people feel that they're being flooded by overseas students, then another balance point has to be found. Yeah. But I think it's good for the Caribbean, good for us. And if it helps us in events where we're weak, like the distance events, the pole vault, the hammer throw, the javelin, the high jump, if it helps us there by pulling our children upward and forward, then it's going to work out for everybody.
Maria Chibredjin, always great to see you. Outstanding commentator, analyst, and author. Track and field, he's his baby, but he's also a table tennis man in the commentary and football. So he's a sports person. Great to see you. God bless you, my friend.
Have a great day.
Yeah, man,
great weekend. Take care.
Yeah, all right, Hubert Lawrence with us this morning.
It's all about Earth Day, guys, when we get back from the break. We'll soon come.